Hello viewers, welcome to AP's Ophthalmology Pulse. Today we will talk about phthisis bulbi. It is defined as a soft, shrunken blind eye with disorganized internal structure due to end-stage intraocular disease. Phthisis bulbi can occur as a complication of any end-stage intraocular disease. Long-standing absolute glaucoma can eventually lead to phthisis bulbi. Trauma in any form. Physical trauma may be a closed globe injury or open globe injury with or without an intraocular foreign body. Among inflammatory causes are chronic uveitis, especially including but not restricted to uveitis in juvenile idiopathic arthritis, sympathetic ophthalmitis, Vogt-Koyanagi-Harada syndrome, among others, and infective conditions like keratitis, endophthalmitis, and panophthalmitis if not responding to treatment. The picture shows a chronic uveitis with complicated cataract. Following any anterior or posterior segment surgery, the picture shows sutures placed for post-trabeculectomy hypotony. Tumors can sometimes end up in phthisis bulbi. This patient has bilateral retinoblastoma and the left eye has become phthysical. Some of the vascular causes like proliferative diabetic retinopathy, Coats disease, retinopathy of prematurity, and ocular ischemic syndrome can all lead in severe cases to phthisis bulbi. The picture shows a premature baby being screened by indirect ophthalmoscopy for ROP. The causes mentioned here are by no means exclusive, and basically phthisis bulbi can potentially occur as an endpoint of any ocular disease if treatment fails. A simplified pathogenesis of phthisis bulbi, which is important only for postgraduate residents, is given here. Various ocular conditions give rise to the two basic processes that are involved in the development of phthisis bulbi, that is inflammation and hypotony. Inflammation through release of prostaglandins and ciliocoroidal detachment can also result in hypotony. The blood-ocular barriers are then disrupted by inflammation, trauma, and other mechanisms, and also by hypotony by means of altered oxygenation, nutrition, and metabolism. Breakdown of the blood-ocular barriers leads to the release of various factors that can contribute to the migration, transformation, and proliferation of retinal pigment epithelium and fibrovascular tissue. This can result in the formation of various membranes. Membranes can form behind the cornea, across the pupil, anterior and posterior to the lens. There can be a cyclitic membrane in the vitreous and the retina. Contraction of these membranes results in retinal and ciliary body detachment, sclerosis, atrophy, and disorganization of intraocular structures. Coming to the clinical features. There is facial asymmetry due to a narrow palpebral aperture. This occurs due to a shrunken globe. The eyeball appears shapeless due to its softness and effective pull of the extraocular muscles. It often appears square-shaped. The conjunctiva may be congested in some cases. Cornea is small, opacified, and may show neovascularization or calcification, often in the form of a band keratopathy. If a part of the cornea is relatively less hazy, then the anterior chamber may be seen to be shallow or flat. Other anterior segment findings cannot be appreciated in the fully established stage of phthisis bulbi. The eyeball is soft and there is no perception of light. The globe may be firm, sometimes in the case of intraocular tumors, calcification or ossification. Because of these features, phthisis bulbi is often described by the 7 S's. Soft because the eye is hypotonous, shrunken, shapeless, sightless because there is no perception of light, structureless because of disorganization of internal structure. It is often square-shaped because of the pull of the extraocular muscles, and sometimes may be sore or painful. Coming to the pathology, the globe is collapsed and the size is about 16 to 19 millimeters. Corneal thickness is increased by 80% and scleral thickness from 40 to 60%. Other features are posterior synechiae, cataract, pupillary, cyclitic and retinal membranes, ciliocoroidal and retinal detachments are always present. Intraocular hemorrhage may be present. The retinal pigment epithelium can give rise to dystrophic calcification and intraocular ossification. This is a cataractous lens. This is a cyclitic membrane with retina attached to it, and here is evidence of heterotopic ossification. A ciliocoroidal effusion is seen here. End-stage eye disease is believed to pass through several stages of atrophy before progressing to the end stage of phthisis bulbi. In atrophia or atrophic bulbi without shrinkage, atrophy of intraocular structures is present, but the size and shape of the eye are still maintained. In atrophia bulbi with shrinkage, The eyeball is soft and misshapen, but the internal structures are still identifiable histologically, and in Thysis bulbi, there is a disorganization of internal architecture. Calcification and ossification may also be present. Janov and Fine considered ossification and calcification as two additional stages. Coming to the treatment, there is no visual prognosis in Thysis bulbi, and if otherwise asymptomatic, no intervention is required. Lubricants, steroids, and cycloplegics may be prescribed for mild discomfort. Contact lenses or scleral shells can be used on the shrunken eyeball for cosmesis. If the eyeball is, however, chronically painful, it may be removed, and after the appropriate implant, a scleral shell may be used. Alternately, if intraocular malignancy can be ruled out, retrobulbar alcohol may be injected to relieve pain. Appropriate management of pre-thysical conditions is advised to prevent the eye from going into phthisis. So that's it for today. If you like what you saw, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to never miss an update from AP's Ophthalmology Pearls. You may watch my other videos by clicking on the thumbnails. Please leave a note in the comment section if you wish for any particular topic to be covered in future. Look forward to weekly updates. Thank you for watching.